Right, we'll make a start then. Thank you all for coming. Every last one of you. Welcome to the July meeting at Sinford Town Council. Sorry we're starting a little bit late, but we'll press on. July, halfway through the year, it grows hot. So there you go. Right. Item number one then is to receive apologies for absence. Are there any apologies for absence?
Apologies from Tim Holder, Karen Turner, Jacob Sanders and Roger Sperry.
Item number two then is declarations of interest, and as to receive any declarations of interest in any matter to be discussed in the meeting, members and officers are requested to identify the nature of such an interest. So now's your time to put forward your interest or a fair road to peace. Right?
Anything to do with the VAT? I'm declaring
Anything to do with forest representative. Okay. Chris, again. The bath again. Okay.
Can I just check that I wouldn't need to declare an interest or working in that place? Does that make sense?
There's nothing on the agenda related to that.
Should be on. Thanks for that then. So we go into now well, first of all, on your tables you've got a bit of some notes from the clerk where you raise your hand to speak. Please speak when asked by me, and try and speak for no more than 3 minutes or we'll be here in window. And only speak words per motion if you can, so whatever you're going to say it. And no side conversations, please. If it can get smooth like that, we can go through it, no problem at all. Otherwise, we should be here forever. Right, item number 3 is public participation session, and each person will be allowed no more than 3 minutes, plus a brief follow-up and any answer given by the council. Questions may be answered but not debated by the council. Any issues which the council deem require consideration will be referred to the appropriate committee, and that person will be given an answer and obviously report back to a future meeting. So over to you. Is it public, right? Or Steve first?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the time. What it is, I used to live here for 19 years when I was 20 up until 2010. So I've got friends and my family who now passed away, but yeah, got a lot of history here. With the issue of homelessness, I've been involved with that for the last 8 years. I was homeless myself, and I'm offering like a challenge to ask what we're going to do about the homelessness issue, not only in Sinford, but everywhere else in the country, but with Sinford in particular, because it's close to my heart. And I've got an event on the 23rd, Wednesday the 23rd, at 7 o'clock at the Golden Lion in Sinford, and councillors, MP, whoever, the public, maybe as well, to come along, let's talk, and let's see let's have a debate on how we go forward. A lot of issues of homelessness, we've all heard yes, but Boris Johnson even mentioned today in 2024, and that's 2025, that's right, very well. So it's just an offer for anyone that's interested, to come on Wednesday at the Golden Lion. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Steve has said that there has been a commitment to end rough sleeping by 2024 and an extra 3 million to aid rough sleepers during cold winter months. But it's still going on, as Steve said. And this event is at the Golden Lion, so we'll make it as many as you can go. And what Steve is on the 23rd of July at 7 p.m. And Steve obviously has challenged any newly elected councillor or MP to a live debate. How are you going to end homelessness, fuel poverty in your area? So, hey,
There is.
good yeah, well done.
Thank you. And
Super job, thank you.
All right, thank
We'll
you.
put up on the noise board. Thank you, Steve.
All the best. Take care.
Thanks for that. Super. Brian?
Right, I have a message on Silver neighbourhood already. The chap said his name, he's looking for properties to rent. 3 years, rent paid, higher rent, return to original condition. That's in response to probably what the government are doing, and they got 400 hotels to let in. Are any of them coming here? Because I think this town's been flooded. And the last lot, I still think some of the councillors knew they were coming. What's happening with this lot now? Because there's hundreds of them being released from these hotels. Are they coming here? I mean, we've had our fair share in Sinford. Spread it out a bit.
If you want an honest answer, I wouldn't have a clue. As regards to the councillors and whether I think you'd be elevating this to another level than what they possibly be. I know even in county level they got that information, to be honest.
Some of the areas in this town are going to look like third world. I've got some photographs here, pictures. One of them I can't show you. As far as I'm concerned, it's pornographic. It was sent to me. I'm going to give this to the police. These were all going to the police. Have a look at these. Side of the road down the town last week. Cocaine sniffing and peeing on the wall. I don't want it in the town. If you want to have a look, let's go to the police. Have a look at it, please. This is what's happening in our town. I don't like it.
The matter which you raised really is a police matter. So.
I wanted to do it here because I thought they'd be here. Because they can't go
Well, they
away,
sent,
so they want to
they
wear
sent us a written report, but obviously they probably couldn't read it personally. We got a written report, we haven't had, it's not them.
I put it on video. I had a video sent to me of them doing that.
But
In
it
the high
is,
street in the daylight.
they do need to go to them because they be the authority.
Oh, there we go.
to do that sort of thing.
There we are, man.
Eh?
There we get that. I was going to push it on higher to one of the big papers or the TV. Because something's got to be done. Nothing's being done there. They're getting away with it. Same bunch.
Would you like us to ask the PCA Morgan to contact you?
Again, yeah, but they don't do a lot. The police aren't there now like they were 2 months ago. That's got off. Last thing you know, I always walk my dog through the town or in the morning. I don't see many of them now. But when you've got that going on in the daylight, that was a week ago. That's not good.
Yeah, that's all true.
Yeah, go on.
I can ask the question at county level about HMOs, so I can get back to the next few weeks.
Yeah. I mean, previously I brought about antisocial behaviour. The feeling I'm getting here is the law has to be broken before anything's done. It shouldn't go that far. As soon as it starts, it should be nipped in the bud. I was speaking to some people from the council up country when I was on holiday. They actually put an order on an area to put it up before it gets out of hand. Here it seems to be break the law and catch it. Do it over and over again. No, it ain't right. They phoned I've been asked again, somebody said I phoned the police. They said the police, backwards and forwards like it always has been. It's not being sorted. If some of you were living by it, I'll bet it would be.
Well,
Because I know some of you are not.
I'm sure you my wife looked at the window one morning and seen somebody injecting themselves in their groin outside our house at 12 o'clock on a Saturday morning with a lady walking by with a little girl. So it not only happening in the
What did you do?
happening in the
What did you do about it,
What
right?
did they do about it?
Yeah.
Like, the police knew about it because it bloke up the road for me and reported it as well. But the trouble is, right, it's got to be the police. It's when they break the law, the parish council or town council can't do anything about it specifically. It's got to be a police matter.
If they do it in some other place,
authority.
if they do it in some other place, I'll get in trouble. So I'm going to stand and watch it. They ain't going to do nothing. So I'll do something.
In fairness, I rang the police the other day, right, it was antisocial behaviour, and they told me to ring the council.
There you are.
And I said, no, it's antisocial behaviour. She said, I'll get my...
Nothing. I'll take it back.
and she asked for advice, and said, no, my superior says it's to phone the council, and it wasn't.
What do you think of that?
I know, it's just past the buckle.
Joy?
Thank you. Regarding the first question, my understanding is we have had some Ukrainian families and some asylum seekers, legal asylum seekers, housed in the Forest of Dean. But my understanding is we have no temporary accommodation being let to illegal migrants. That's my understanding. We can verify that with the district council. But we have had asylum seekers that have been approved, which is very different.
Who approves them, if I don't mind me asking?
I can get that verification from housing and email Emma, and hopefully then that can be circulated.
I mean, Ukrainians are in a war-torn country. That's fair. I don't care who it is living in this town, as long as they behave. We got our one core that don't, and nobody will touch them. They're just allowed to run riot. A few places in the town are hotspots.
I'm sorry, Chair, I must come back on that because there is antisocial behaviour of all communities in the Forest of Dean, and there is an initiative by the police that have been targeting areas like Miners Walk, where that is known and it's unacceptable, and I just urge people to keep reporting to the police.
There's drug dealing down on the bottom playing field, where the fairground used to be.
That's where you live.
Well, nothing's done, is it?
I can assure you what I've been doing more than what you've done over the years, but it's fallen deaf ears in places. But
I know.
So I don't know what to say about that. So I had the authority this to deal with it. Neither this council, all we can do is like.
But as a district,
let me
you
finish.
push
All
it
we
up.
can do is refer to Joy, who's going to find that information out from the district council, who are the housing authority, not Sinniford Town Council. We don't have houses. We don't have housing this. We have nothing to do with housing whatsoever.
You say refer to Dublin.
District council does. That's where the.
Sorry, only on that housing question.
I've been referring things to you for 5 years, and it's not well, no better.
There's no point referring it to us if we're not the authority that deals with it. You should be referring it to the district council.
Oh, once a month, if I'm lucky, for a few minutes.
That's
getting
good
enough. It's not good
I'd
enough.
be interested to know about the drug dealing on the field, because that field's our property. And we don't have no notification of that, have we, Emma?
The young kids aren't safe down there, apparently.
I haven't.
Other ones dealing.
I got the cakes up there every night, right? And I've only ever had abuse of 9 to 12-year-old boys. There's families of all nationalities, and do you know what? When I shout, excuse me, I'm walking against this. But we've had no notification. The police are doing it quite often. We've had no notification of drug dealing down there. That's got some really good CCTV. Is it reported? It also needs reported to us so we can look at the CCTV.
Sorry to say refer and bring it up. How long you got to bring it up? I'm getting on now. I don't want to get sorted.
It's the first time anybody said about drug dealing on the skate park. And if it's not reported,
the antisocial behaviour has been going on for 5 years. Like, I'm not saying it's all one sort. If you're trying to say I'm just going after the robbers and whatever, I'm not. I don't care what anybody comes from, as long as they behave. It doesn't matter to me. And if I was looking for work as a youngin, I might go abroad and look for it. But I do is I come the line. They're not.
Anybody else? Everyone? What we'll do, Roy, then we'll get that information, she said, and then we'll get it through Emma to yourselves.
Yeah, because I'm not going to district council again. It's a waste of time.
Well, we can't speak on their behalf, but we'll do what we can for you. Thanks for that. Item number 4 then is Chairman's urgent business. And then what under urgent business is the first one is the 20 mile an hour expression. So you've got it in your folders for the county. Roger Boyborn, the new councillor with portfolio already ready for highways and that sort of road safety. And obviously it's in your folders what's your wishes with regards to 20 mile an hour in residential areas as a town council.
If you remember back in September 2020, when I was actually over in Jersey, I proposed this, and it was seconded by Di, and it was unanimous by the whole council. And I've been trying my best to push things forward, but I keep on getting doors slammed in my face from county council. Now, if this is like bona fide and it's what county council want to do, then yes, we've got to embrace it. As I've said before, the difference between doing 20 miles an hour and doing 30 miles an hour is you use 25% more of the engine to do 10 miles an hour more, and it's 25% more pollution into the atmosphere. Even with electric vehicles, they're even worse for pollution with their brakes and their tyres, and to make the lithium batteries to begin with, you know, there's so much destruction being done.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I think a lot of what you're saying is madness.
Well, it's
To be honest with you.
it's for debate with the
Oh, sorry, there was a member of the public, but well, you can have a chat as well.
Well, you come past
So,
that, don't you, Chairman, there's a business. Carol?
I think it's a good idea, but we've still got primary schools that only go down to 30. You know.
Yeah, so
Steno's primary school is a 40 until school turns school kicking in.
yeah, well, the thing is, if what I originally proposed was all residential side roads in Cinderford to be reduced to 20 miles an hour from 30 miles an hour, and for like outside schools, for that to be reduced to 20 miles an hour as well.
But with Steno's, it is the only school that is reduced to 30.
It's going to take a long time. It's, as Ray and Piers will probably tell you, the new administration at Shire Hall have found that that's what they want to do. The Liberal Democrat administration, they want to go this way. If you remember, we had traffic calming put in LD, which was very successful. They're not going to go as far as that. They're not putting sleeping policemen or cushions in. They're only going to do signage, and that's going to take a long time to do it across the county of Gloucestershire. But they're going that way, that's what they're proposing. But they're going to put it up for consultation. They're asking you as a council whether you support it or not. So we'll come to that juncture in a minute. But that's what it's about. But there'll be no money for sleeping policemen, there'll be signage. And again, it's got to be agreed in the area that's being proposed. And also the police and the emergency services have an input as well. So it's not just councils or whatever. It's all they're going through a consultation exercise. Emma put it in the folder. I'm sure if you've all read it, if you haven't, read it. But what's your wishes as a council? Do you want to support that way of going forward? Do it?
I move that we do.
It's been moved by Joe. Is there a seconder?
I'll second.
Seconded in a number of places. Jeremy? All those in favour, please show. All those against? Any abstentions? It's carried. Okay. So the next.
The second part of that then was to identify roads that you feel will benefit from the reduction in speed limit. So if you can let me know what roads you want us to.
So if you've got roads in your area of the town that you feel that it needs that, then Emma, if you get it to Emma, and she can put it forward, you know, and obviously that's all we can do is put it forward. It'll go through the consultation and then what will be, it'll be. Lynn?
On the state roads, you got far earlier, does that mean that they're reducing them on the state roads? Because it's like a Grand Prix track, sometimes there are accidents.
I think you're free to put it on forward roads you think needs it, I suppose. If you put it through the Emma, then that will be put forward. Whether it'll be supported is another thing. It's going to be a public consultation. It's coming from the 30th of July, isn't it? 31st of July.
Vote date is 19th
11th.
September.
No, so we've got a consultation for you.
Because school holidays, weekends, I'm doing the police work down there, but keeping the kids off the road from being run over.
Yeah.
Every week, every day.
If you put that road forward to Emma, then she can put it on the list and we can put that forward.
Yeah, okay.
If you can do that as councillors. Jeremy?
Yeah, I've been in consultation with Roger Sterry
Yeah.
about what roads we feel need to be highlighted as potential.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else?
I just thought perhaps our county councils can take it forward with the county council that, you know, Sinford is a 20 zone, and yet the 20 zone is supposed to be self-enforcing. You know, the county pulled the funding halfway through doing Sinford, so half of Sinford is done. You get down to the high street, from there over to St. Lawrence, there's nothing.
That's right.
Now, it would be nice if we could get the rest of Cinderford in the 27 to be properly enforced. But, you know, because it was the county council, you know, it was obviously, it was obviously put forward and it was done, but only half done, and, you know, it would be nice. You know, we have problems with speed on High Street, you know, if you go up into the estates where that is in place, there is no speeding. It's the High Street where you've got a few motorcyclists and a few cars who go up and down there, and they must be doing over 60.
Yeah.
I heard one the other night, and that he went up the High Street and he was up the top of the hill in seconds.
Yeah.
You know, I hope we don't have to wait until somebody gets killed. Because I've spoken to the police, the police advocacy, police and crime commissioners about it. It was suggested that perhaps they have a speed watch on High Street rather than down on Valley Road and Industrial Estate, where there's very few pedestrians. It just, it could be, where they've done it in well, it can be done, and it can be done without speed bumps, it can be done with giveways, priority signs, and it can be made to look really nice.
That's
where they've done it in
that's what Roger Whiteburn did, administration's proposing.
Yeah.
We ran a telephone and report, but that's
Yeah.
what they proposed it. Which is a breakthrough because the previous administration wouldn't do it. And that was that they pulled the funding because obviously grants from the central government had been pulled back at that time. And only Cinderford East was done and Cinderford West didn't get done. So they're not proposing secret policemen or cushions, they're proposing signage. And if you can imagine the request going in across Gloucester, it's going to take a few years if it gets off the ground. But we'll put that, your wishes as a council forward, and if you've got any roads you think need to be included, give it to Emma. Thank you for that. Right, the next one is the local plan. That's in your folders again. I don't think it's going to worry Cinderford too much because we'll be ending on 80% of our borders by statutory forests. We ain't going to be building in the statutory forest because we wouldn't allow it ourselves, allow anybody else. So. And then the other bit we got is a very steep embankment going on Liberty. So I think it's more to do with the other towns until you know the district code with Mark. I know it's more than what I would know at the moment in time, but so it'll affect out in other areas to a great degree. But it's in your folder what the district's setting out. They're going to need more housing. It's coming through from the government. We've always just heard about when Steve came about the homeless situation, and we do need houses, and that's what the government is proposing. So they need to revisit the local plan and make provision for more houses. Doug?
Just for information, in my council report, I've put it's going to cabinet on Thursday, the variation because of the greater demands, but you're absolutely right, Chair. It isn't going to have a huge impact on Cinderford. Unfortunately, we have got areas where we need housing, and they've got planning permission, but nothing happens. So in the areas of brownfield sites where we could have housing, unfortunately, unless the law changes, we won't get it.
Yeah.
Jeremy?
Can't something be done about these plots of land that have already got planning permission to push the owners?
That's what Billy just said. It's been going on for 30 plus years.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, it's diabolical that...
Once you've got private owners that own the land, and they don't wish to do anything with it, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, but the planning permission only lasts for 10 years.
No,
it does.
No, they can renew in permission, and they can renew permission. Well, you know, the district studies about housing permission with pushing probably getting the worst 40 years probably for over 120 houses, but I can't see it happening anytime soon. I think we all wish it would, especially in Glarge, which kids keep setting fire to, but there you go.
It used to be the rules that you had to build up to damp-proof course within 10 years in order to keep the
You
permission.
shouldn't get around that, Jerry, because they've been getting around it for 40 years. But, yeah. So that local plan is going to be out for consultation, and so obviously, is there anything we need to do at this moment in time, or just note it, or?
We can send a response.
Do you want to send a response to the district council with regard to that? Obviously, that local plan is going to be till 2040, what is it?
2040 frames.
So it's going to be a long period of time, and once local plans are in place, they do get periodic reviews, but they don't get altered quickly. So it's time to open your, whatever you want to say, and say it, and let them know about it, because that's the window you have for putting your input into the local plan debate. So is there anything you wish to send as a council back with regards to local plan? As I say, it don't really affect Sinford that much with regards to vast numbers of housing. It affects probably Sudbury, Newent, places that didn't have their allocations, obviously in the upland areas. We're in the statutory forest on 80% of our border. And the escarpment on the east side is very, very steep slope, so I don't think it's going to affect us too much. Jeremy?
Can we actually ask a question about the long-term planning permission that's been given on the land that hasn't been developed? And just say, how is this allowed to happen?
We can ask that. We can ask the question. We've got two sites that look a bit like the Rust Belt in America, as you all know of. It's the ones I just mentioned, so we can ask that, yeah, by all means. That's what the council wishes. We'll ask the question. Whether we can do anything about it, this is the thing.
Yeah. When I've been down to the medical centre in the last couple of months, I've seen KW Bell vehicles actually on a piece of land.
You've got a planning permission in forward night, yeah. The reserve matters.
Oh, right.
That's ready to go forward. Chris?
Are they at the stage of asking us to identify sites, or is that part? Is that something for later?
Joy, do you know any more than me on that one?
On what side?
Are they they're not in that position to ask us, have we got any sites at this point, are they?
We've already
Identified.
we've been asked for sites, but if there's any more that anyone thinks of, please put them in. Because obviously, if we don't find, I should say the district council don't find enough land, the government will impose a plan on this, and it may not be where we want them. So it's better that communities identify areas for housing, so that at least we have some control over where they go.
Yeah.
Because without a plan, developers can just
They can just
do the
use that as an excuse to develop what they want to develop. That won't be the statutory forest, obviously.
No.
The subdivision.
No, we are protected.
Yeah. So, we'll put that with you. If everybody's happy, we'll put that forward, what you asked for about the sites, the two specific sites we know of that are crying out for development. They're dangerous and resource, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure how much I can be involved in the debate about it, but it's 13,200 homes that are planning to build over the 18 years, which comes up to about 40,000 people. If you put 2.5 people in, which is about half the population of the forest. Yeah. That's going to create. Is that being questioned? What's the infrastructure like? Where they expected the people to come from? And there's a higher death rate and there's a birth rate. It sounds like a huge change. I just don't know where I got the figures for needing that level of housing. I don't know if that's something I'm meeting with the district council next week. But
I did think that was
something to discuss, because it may not affect Sinford so much in terms of the amount of housing, but if you're commuting, or if you're in terms of changing the makeup of the forest, in many ways, it's going to change.
That's right.
I don't know if that's something that I debate, or you debate, or what happens with that. Yeah.
We've currently got a waiting list of 2,500.
Yeah.
That's sort of local identified need. And obviously communities grow, but I think it has been challenged.
Totally get the need for affordable housing. I mean, it's desperate.
I just think the same as you when I saw the figures, but
Yeah.
we had no expert on it. But, there's some big sites been identified, like the military finished with Sedgwick,
Yeah.
the camp there. That would be up for grabs for housing. There's big areas around Indian Unit, you know, Jeremy?
Yeah, the original plan said that there would be something like 5,400 houses. Sorry, no, 6,600 houses. And then the government would increase it by 5,400 to take it up to 12,000. Obviously, Ray's said it's going to be 13,200. But the thing is that it's been my battle with Gloucestershire Highways for so many years. You know, why don't they actually upgrade roads? I went to a meeting in 2013 over at West Dean, and I asked Brian Watkins in the last 10 15 years what road improvements have been made on the A41360, the A40 or the A48, and he said no. So I said, why are you getting all these houses built when you don't have the infrastructure to...
A lot of it's to do with Highways England.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, Gloucestershire Highway should be
and it's
going...
cost.
Gloucestershire Highway should be going back to...
They don't always Gloucestershire Highways, because the road
Highways
mentioned
England.
A4 is Highways England.
Yeah, they should be going back to Highways
Do
England.
you want to propose what you suggested about, these two sites that we asked a question about? You want to make that a proposition?
Yeah.
Is there a seconder for that? Englards and Listers ask about those sites with regards to the van. Yeah, seconded. All those in favour, please show. Any against, please show. Any abstentions? We'll put that forward then, and that's all as much as we can do at this point in time, and wait for the consultation on the local plan and have your input. So thank you for that. The other items I got is obviously Ross White, our former solicitor, is retiring. So I'd like to wish Ross on your behalf, the commission, long and happy retirement. He served us well. He isn't always the quickest solicitor on earth, but he's very thorough. And I don't think any solicitor is very quick, to be honest with you. Don't pay him if you do it. But anyway, we wish Ross all the best for the future. Thank you for that. Okay, so with that then, item number 5 then is to confirm the minutes of the meeting out on the 10th of June. So is it your wish those minutes are confirmed as true record? Mark proposed?
Yeah.
Seconded by Darren. All those in favour, please show. That's carried. Right, item 6 is matters arising from the minutes for information only. Anybody want to raise any matters for information only? Not to be debated. Nobody? Okay, we'll move on then. Item 7 is a police update. The first one is to receive and note their written monthly report, which I hope you've all read. I read it this afternoon. Some increases in places, but quite detailed report. So you're happy to receive that report? Yeah. B then is to discuss any additional issues. Are there any additional issues? Well, we obviously heard some issues that the public have raised. Which I don't know whether we can, obviously we'll do what we said, and we can put that information when Doug gets it to us forward. That's about as much as we can do as a town council. This is not our remit to do some of the things the public have. They should really go to the district council meetings, who's the housing authority, and raise it there. Item C then is to note any ASB case review updates and a social behaviour update. What's that doing?
The case review was...
Well, that's what you raised. Yeah, you said that. I read that. Yeah. There was nothing too much to see what she said. Was
I don't think they ever did much of anything.
No.
Honesty is
Yeah.
policy under...
Oh, I don't think that
Oh yeah. Anyway. Anyone else on any of that? No, all happy with that one? Item 8 then is to receive a presentation from the Forest Food Bank, and we've got with us Yvonne Wood, welcome Yvonne, and Jane Barr. Welcome Jane.
Hello.
So welcome both, and over to you for your presentation.
Okay, well, my name's Jane Baird, and I'm the Schools and Communities Coordinator for the Forest Food Bank. My role involves me going into schools to talk to students about the food bank, and also liaising with them when they do any food collections for us. I also go to churches and other community groups to let them know what we do, so that rather than just giving us food in the primary schools and things, and not knowing what's going to happen to it, I just explain what's going to happen. So first of all, I'd like to say a huge thank you for giving me the opportunity just to tell all of you a little bit about the Forest Food Bank. Because I know a lot of you will have heard of us, but you might not know exactly what we do and how we do it. So the Forest Food Bank opened in 2013, and in 2021 we became a charitable incorporated organisation. In 2013, we were a very small organisation, and we just had a small basement room in a church in Sinford, and that was our warehouse. And we had very few clients coming in to see us. It wasn't unusual for us, if we were working in a distribution centre, a place where we give out food, for us to be sitting most of the afternoon and perhaps having one client who came in. Now it's very, very different. We have an awful, very big need in the forest for us. So I began volunteering in 2015 when I retired from teaching, and Yvonne here has been with us right from the very beginning. So the Forest Food Bank is affiliated to the Trussell Group, and they're a national charity, and they give us extra support. So they give us extra funding, they give us training for volunteers, and there's a whole host of other things that they do that help us to run. Most of the people who work in our Forest Food Bank are volunteers, and there are about 80 volunteers currently working in the food banks. It takes an awful lot of volunteers to run our food bank. We aim to help anybody in our community who needs us, and it doesn't matter what circumstances have brought them to us. It doesn't matter if they're a single person, a couple, or a family, there's always help available. People of different age groups, backgrounds, ethnicities, they might need us. It may be because they've experienced a shortfall or a change in their benefits, because they've suffered a medical problem that leaves them unable to work, or because something unforeseen has happened in their personal life. Everyone who comes to us is different. Just now in the food bank, we're seeing a lot more people who are in full-time employment, but whose wages are no longer sufficient to cover the cost of living. These people find it particularly difficult to turn to us for support, as they never thought that they were going to need to use the food bank. When someone seeks our help, we're able to provide a food parcel that's got sufficient food for 3 days. And this food is in packets or tins because we haven't got fridges or freezers to store perishable items. So, in addition to this, clients can have items from our Help Yourself, and that's got food in it that's coming near to its sell-by date or use before date, and also it's donated items that wouldn't normally go into a food parcel. And we also offer things like toiletries, household products and pet food. We work closely with various agencies in the Forest of Dean to help with that person's immediate crisis, but we also try to help them to access longer-term solutions. People are usually allowed up to 3 parcels in any 6-month period, but there's always going to be certain exceptions to this because we hate people to be going hungry. But the idea is that the food bank is really just for emergency provision. We're not providing food all the time to people. We just wouldn't have enough food to be able to do that. So the food can be donated at a variety of drop-off points by people who want to donate. And I've got various leaflets here that tell people where our drop-off points are. And most of that information is on our website. So there's also now a Bank for Food app, which is available, and it's on www.bankforfood.org, and that gives people a chance. The app will tell you what food our particular food bank needs. The app helps you to know where you can donate, and it also tells us which types of food are likely to be coming in for us.
Ask that those links be sent to our clerk to be circulated, so we've got that information.
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, by all means. So, as well as that, it also, the app is very clever, it gives you a little ping when you go into the supermarket to remind you. Yeah, and lots of people have said to us, oh, we need a little reminder when we go into the supermarket, just that's going to be there. So any food that's donated is then taken to the warehouse by our driver volunteers, and then it's weighed and it's put on shelves ready to be sorted by another group of volunteers. So as you can already see, there's a whole lot of volunteers involved in these various processes. And the reason why we weigh the food when it comes into the warehouse, it's a way of us being able to do stock control. But it also is a way Tesco's are very kind to us, so that the food that is donated in the Tesco stores, it's weighed when it comes into our warehouse. We then tell them how much was donated into the baskets at the front of Tesco stores, and they then give us an extra cash donation. So it's something that a lot of people don't know.
The only ones that do it, they're very, very good.
Yeah. So, once the food has been sorted and put on shelves or cupboards, another group of volunteers come in, who are our box fillers, and they fill the boxes, which will then go to the distribution centres. And the distribution centres are actually where people come to pick up their food parcel. We have got the big warehouse, but it wouldn't be suitable for people to come and collect their food from there. So we've 3 distribution centres. We've got the River Children and Family Centre in Lydney, which is open on Tuesdays. Then we've got Broadwell at the Salvation Army, and that's open on Wednesday mornings. And then we've got the Forest Community Church in Cinderford, and that's Thursday afternoons. So at our distribution centres, our clients are offered a drink, and they have a chance to chat with the volunteers, but also with agencies like Caring for Communities and People, and also Citizens Advice, who can offer them additional support. But people are also welcome to come into our centres, even if they're not picking up a food parcel, because they know that they can talk to the Caring for Communities and People. And sometimes it's easier for them to be able to do that then than to phone up and try to get an appointment. Obviously it's better if they do phone in advance. If they're really desperate, it's another way that they can talk to these people. So all the information obviously is on our little leaflets here with the website as to how they can get the help that they need. We're also aware that not everybody is comfortable with getting information from the web page. So at the moment we're in the process of printing off a series of phone numbers with agencies who can do e-referrals to the food bank, and we're trying to distribute those out to various church halls, all sorts of different places, so it's more accessible for everybody who needs to use it. Most people will actually come into our centres to pick up a food parcel, but there will be some people who won't be able to get to us when we realise that, so we can offer to deliver food to those people. But obviously we've got a limited number of delivery drivers, so in some ways it is better if people possibly can to come in and pick up their parcel. So I've just to finish off, I've just got a few sobering statistics from the Trussell Group, which would seem extraordinary for one of the richest countries in the world. A record 9.3 million people, including 1 in 5 children, are facing hunger and hardship in the UK at the moment. There's been a 15.6% increase in the food parcels that were distributed by the Forest Food Bank between 2023 and 2024. And I think it's even more, going to be even more than that.
Well, I don't know about that.
Wait and see.
Because we've got something in place which is dealing with that, and they're doing an excellent job. So, yeah,
all the various agencies that we've got in place who are helping people that are really doing a very good job for us. So thank you very much.
Joyce?
Yeah, I just want to say a big thank you. I I've always worked with families and various people in my working life, and without the food bank, I just do not know how they will manage. And as you say, I've referred more working people in the last 2 years. And something I have noticed that people have got in touch with me is self-employed people who become ill and have absolutely no sick pay and they're desperate. But as you say, it's really difficult for people to walk through the doors. And it's about us as counsellors encouraging people to get rid of the shame, because although it should be done by government, it's not. And we have to do what we can to support people. I've often thought counsellors should be able to have, it used to be vouchers, didn't it? But is there any way that counsellors can direct? I've done it through a work role, but I've never as a counsellor been able to do it. And I've often thought, we do have constituents getting in touch with us, and wonder if that's something we could take back.
Absolutely, I think that's doable, definitely.
Because we do have people come to us in confidence that may not go to other agencies but want advice, and we can identify, and you would know if they've come to you before. But I do think it's really important, because to see people struggle as they are, it's incredibly hard. And without you, you're an absolute lifeline.
We would say one of the big areas of people that we're aware are not seeking our help are the older. So we are trying to get the message out to people.
It's about when we're going out and about, I sometimes go to lunch clubs and it's talking to people. I myself have been a recipient over the years of help through no fault of my own. So if you share your story, it enables people to think, well, if a counsellor can do it, so can I. And it's about us as counsellors encouraging people, because when you are desperate and you haven't got enough food, there is something very wrong.
Yes. Well, and that's the mission statement for the trust.
Very much so.
Yeah, is the fact that nobody should have to use a food bank.
Not so I was hungry and be fed.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Mike Dowie. Anyone else got any comments, questions for Yvonne or Jane? You happy?
Did you all know there was a food bank in the forest? Because that's something we've really struggled with over the years, because some people know, some people don't know, and they don't know how we can help them until they actually come in connection with us.
I knew there was a food bank, but I didn't quite know what the collection points was or where you were handed into or whatever. So what information you got there is invaluable.
Yeah.
I said to Emma, well, I don't know whether we can put that information for you on our website, but I'll leave that with them. If that can help, we can do it.
Absolutely.
I just like to say it's good to have clarification, because myself's always been in the understanding if you weren't entitled to use the food bank. So, and we do quite close with the girls' rugby, and we do a lot of fundraising, and we donate to the Salvation Army. So it's interesting to know how we could do other things.
Absolutely. And we always need it.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen over the last two and a half years, our donations have gone down, both monetary and food. And we really have to keep on top of it to try and make sure that we're all fair. Thank you.
Jeremy?
When I was working for a charity several years ago, based up in Springbank, they've got a food bank up there, and what they do is they charge so much per week.
That's a pantry. That's how they term that, as a pantry.
Yeah. And the thing is, what people can do is for a moderate sum, say £4, £4.50, they can get a range of.
I've got a feeling they started something.
Well, for that, they set one up in the old doctor's surgery, but I don't think it worked very well.
No, we didn't. There's an ongoing issue in in the forest of accessing food supply chains.
Yeah.
Because you don't have them in the same way as you do in the more densely populated
That's
urban
right.
areas. And that's a big challenge we've got to run in any real viable country in the forest.
Yeah.
Because there is a definite need for something in between the food.
We agree, I completely agree, and I think that's the way that we may go to, so that we've got a food bank and a pantry working alongside. But that's something that I and the Board of Trustees are looking at, and we will implement our operations manager to bring something online, because I think that then helps everybody, and they've all got a crack of the whip then. But yeah, that is something we're looking at, so they run parallel to each other.
Right. Just unusual time in my work day job, but I just think it's great that in the community church I know you've got CCP and CAB there, so we can go, because usually people in trouble, there's all the different services and can't really advertise that enough, so thank you for that. But I was also going to say, is anybody aware of CCP and what they do? They can
They're brilliant, they always have been, they've been with us, they were Green Square as you know, and then they transitioned, but they're brilliant, and CAB have made such a big difference to us as a food bank. Their information they give out, they treat the plants, they report back to us with the reports, so we know exactly what is going on. And they have been brilliant. They've done some really good work.
It becomes a real refuge, doesn't it, when you go
Absolutely.
but if anybody doesn't know much about CCP, please, we can have them back in, because they'd be really useful, because you're not lost for constituents. I'm sure
they've always been very supportive.
Thanks for that. Jeremy?
Do you think that Emma could put something on our website?
Well, you've already asked them that, yeah. She could have a look.
She's on it.
Is there anyone else that, any questions for Yvonne and Jane? Well, all that remains me to do both is to thank you. Is there anybody else? Oh, the donation.
Very kind, that's lovely.
So all that remains me to do is thank you both for the incredible work you do, to be honest. You're doing very vital work. We can't thank you enough, to be honest. And if any information you can leave, we can get it on the website.
Great.
Like Ollie here before.
Some leaflets.
Oh, you saw me, didn't you?
Around.
Thanks very much, both. Thank you very much.
And if there are any halls or anywhere where you think it might be useful for us to just put up a list of phone numbers rather than people having to go onto a website, if you just let us know and then we can get
I'm sure the lady here, you can forward you that information.
Well, thank you very much.
It's alright. There's questions for you over there. Can you really hear apart from the blue tucker wagon?
Thank you very much.
Thanks both, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for all you lot as well. You have quite a grueling task.
Thanks a lot. Okay, what we're going to do now then, we'll go to item number 9, which is to
thank you so much.
we're going to item number 9, which gives me an absolute great honour and pleasure to announce the fact that our town crier is the UK's #1 town crier. I think Gerald works his damn socks off to get that sorted, and the bloke's amazing, to be honest. Sure, his repertoire is better than mine. He can rattle it off if you're good at it. I just want to Well, on your behalf as a town councillor and all councillors, congratulate Ger on the fantastic job he's done by getting this title of the #1 town clerk in the country. Excellent, excellent news.
Will we be hosting the next one?
Well, we hope so.
And then will they do the next one here?
So if we can congratulate Ger, whenever we do that, get a message to him.
I think he's going to try and pop in tonight.
Oh, is he? Well, you'll get a chance to do it in person then. Thanks for that. Item 10 is to receive an update from our estates manager on the estate works and note any associated actions. And we'll go over the page and we'll try to do this. First one is the Wesley, the Baroness.
Thank you, Graham. I'll put in order, if I may. The Wesley is the first one. The fire alarm installation has been completed. So for the first time in its history, the Wesley has a complete fire alarm throughout the building. Now this has been put in because we now have 3 areas to consider on the ground floor and 2 areas upstairs. We're also going to be looking at increasing our capacity of use in the building. So we also have to have the fire alarm installed for that very reason on health and safety basis. The fire alarm has been installed by SECOM or SECOM, however you would care to pronounce it. One of the managers is coming over to see me tomorrow just to make sure that we're happy and he's happy with the installation. It will then be commissioned and will be fully operational. It is operational now. We just need to dot a few I's and cross a few T's, but it's all in. The kitchen is also nearly finished. I know Darren's popped in to have a look. So the new kitchen is also nearly finished, and on the 16th of August the thermal heating is being installed. So that's going to take a week. They'll be working on it from 8 in the morning till 8 in the evening, and we are having to shut the part of the building to the front of the church in order to get this in, but it is going in on the 16th of August. We've also contacted all companies who have supplied a secondary glazing plate. As you know, we were somewhat surprised by the disparity of the costs of it. So we have now conducted a thermal heating survey. That was with Simon Richards of the Forest Oak Dean District Council, the results of which will be coming to me, but it does look as though we will need to focus on the 8 smaller windows running down each side of the church in the first instance. That's what our funds should allow. We will then need to look at doing the bigger windows. But it is those windows either side that are causing us more issues. So we'll be looking at those first. And that's the best of
Any questions for Red or anything else on that one? Jeremy?
Yeah, so is that to improve the energy performance certificate?
the secondary glazing.
Yeah.
Yes and no. It's performing a few functions, Jeremy. It's to prevent heat loss, it's to prevent any damage to the stained glass windows, and to work in conjunction with the thermal heating as well, because the heat is going to be pushed down in the building. So we need to preserve that heat at the lowest part of the building. So we'll be heating people rather than place. So it's working on a number of different levels, but yes, it will also be helping that.
So will the secondary glazing be on the outside or the inside?
No, it's going to be on the inside.
Right, so therefore have you got grills on the outside to stop the windows being smashed?
Yes, we have. Yes. So they are in place. We now need to look after the inside.
Super, thank you for that. Item B then is 6 Market Street.
We are waiting for the final bit of the clock to be made. It's going to be a process. But we are, I keep saying it each time, we are getting closer, we are. But I guess you can't rush perfection or skill.
The clock looks super well.
Thank you, yeah. With Mark's help, we are getting closer. If I may, I'll move on to Riona House. The lining of the car park is taking place on the 18th of July. So outside of Riona House and on the slope up here, the lines of the existing car park will be burned off. We will then be installing 2 disabled access car parking spaces. They will also be able to use the electric car charging points easily. They will not be on a slope. You'll also see chevrons going in to prevent parking in the fire exits. Cones don't work. And there will also be chevrons to the entrance of the building as well. Dockham Road, if I could just update you, we work very well with Connor at Dockham Road, and I recently asked for his up-to-date fire risk assessment, and that has been duly provided. So our conditions as a landlord have been complied, and Chris and the team over at Dockham Road and our list are very kindly provided all the information that we need.
Any comments, questions for Les on any other things before we move on to the last one? Super, thanks Les. Item E then is to approve works contractors.
We will be going out to the people who have submitted their quotations for the secondary glazing to advise that we will be looking at 8 windows only at this point in time. That will be dependent on the results of the thermal heating survey that have taken place. We will then be asking them to re-quote for those 8 windows.
Yeah.
I will then come back to you to advise and then.
So you'll come back at that time for a decision?
Yeah. The disparity was £27,000 as the most cost-effective quote, so cheapest is not a good term of phrase, to £116,000. Yes, I'm afraid. So we've had to look at the reasons why and the wherefores, and then ask them just for some more information.
Okay, thanks for that. Thanks for your work you're doing. Anybody have any questions for Les at all? Any of that? Thanks for that, Les. Super, thank you. Item 11 then is correspondence. The first one, A, is to receive the latest correspondence on broadband issues affecting Newtown Seaford and discuss it before today.
So copies of correspondence is in your folder. Ray, you've been dealing with this, haven't you?
Yeah. So, he was looking at, first of all, the Newtown area. Basically, long story short, there's a strip of Newtown which is not getting broadband at the moment. It's said it's still in the stage with the actual providers looking at open market, but they'll know in about 6 months, I believe, if they will provide it. If not, then it goes to government's financial scheme, and I'll look at it then. There was no guarantee, but the officer at GCC was hopeful, quite optimistic that one or both. I think one or the other will cover out. And then we also spoke about GigaClear for this area here, because this area was not so good as here as well today. So I need to find it. He wanted some a map of the businesses, which I think that was provided for.
Thanks for your support of that, Ray. Thank you. Okay, item B then is to receive a quotation from Red Hand for CCTV camera and consider a way forward.
Yeah, so we received a quotation for £1,431.28, which is for the replacement camera outside Lidl's. We did briefly mention it at the meeting last month, and we said we'd rediscuss it today.
Yeah, I was going to contact them, but I said you first took my life over, so I don't know. Do we need that camera?
This is over this weekend, Mark. You still want to try and do that?
Yeah, we defer it.
Yeah. Okay.
Although we have bought another webcam in the last week or so, and they've gone up in price, so there must be a thing. They've gone up, like the last one was 90 quid, it's gone up to 107. Yeah, and it's exactly the same camera, so there must be some issue with cameras going up, but I will look at it next week.
Yeah, we'll chance.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item C then is to discuss the appointment of Councillor Charlton Wright to committees following his request. You know what committee that is, or committees? Number of committees, is it?
So Jeremy asked for this item to be added on the agenda.
Yeah, I'm already a member of most of the committees. It's just the personal committee that I'm not a member of.
Personnel.
Yeah, so I'm quite happy.
You're happy
I'm quite happy with
what you're on?
with what I'm on already.
Okay.
So
Did you want to consider anything? Okay, thanks for that. Thank you. Item D then is to discuss the closure of Sinford AstroTurf pitch and receive the school and FA response and agree on any assistance on a way forward. I know Chris can do more.
Yeah, I'm happy to speak to that one. So, just over 2 weeks ago, so I've been using the pitch for various teams that I play for and have played for 20 years, since it's been built, every single week. And I know hundreds, probably thousands of people that are in the exact same boat that use those pitches every single week. And for many of them, it's their only form of rigorous exercise. It's their only form of social interaction outside of work and whatnot. The impact of the immediate closures is huge. So I know, going back about a month ago, there's a very nasty leg break up there. Somebody that I understand broke into the pitch. And that's been an ongoing challenge. Will always be the location, we've had the woodland and whatnot behind. It's always been a challenge for as long as it's been up there. A health and safety audit was carried out by Replay, and they decided to condemn the pitch and advise SGS to close it down. So SGS closed it down with immediate effect. I've inquired about the details of exactly what's happened. So what within that health and safety report caused them to close it down, and I haven't been provided with any exact detail yet. Gloucester FA have been good coming back to us, and they said that basically Replay will need to provide some scenarios to SGS around what could be repaired versus the ultimate solution, which is completely related to the pitch. Those quotes don't exist yet. What Gloucester FA have said is that that pitch generally needs to be replaced, provided it's well maintained, every 10 to 12 years. Now, I don't think it's been replaced at all in its lifetime. So it's no surprise that we've got to this stage. And to be frank, I mean, they've been playing there for a long time. There are strips of pitch missing, there are trip hazards everywhere, it hasn't been maintained since Andy Youth Hope. Desktop research suggests we're looking at quotes between 150 and £275,000. So like I said, the impact is massive. The nearest AstroTurf pitches are Newlands and Lidney. Both are full. They're an additional £22 an hour, and they're not accessible by public transport on an evening. There is no way to get there for the majority of people, considering a lot of the people who access these are youth clubs, youth football clubs. There's just no chance. So speaking to a lot of regular users there, including 8 different football clubs, the vast majority have simply stopped playing since the closure. There is nowhere else for them to go at all. There is one that has gone to Monmouth Boys School, which is quite frankly ridiculous because there's the amount of people locally that won't be able to access that from now on is a real shame. Now, there are obviously 2 opportunities coming up in the town. There's the rugby club, and we need to understand what their intentions are around making that publicly accessible and available to hire. And similarly, Sinford Town Youth Football Club are also fundraising for their own free pitch as well. So we need to understand what that looks like, the time frames. The big risk that we've got in the town now is all the momentum is going to be lost by those hundreds, probably thousands of people that have simply got nothing. And by the time those pitches come along, that would be it. Momentum is lost, the clubs are closed, the social connections have gone. And we're in an area, I think I've mentioned this before, but Sinford and the Forest Dean have got the worst levels of childhood obesity in the region. And these are one of the reasons why. So, my ask to this would be, we need, and I'm happy to do this, we need to push for more information from SGS and Replay. We need to find out what alternatives there are to a full pitch relay, because in the scenario of the leisure centre in the school, that's not going to happen, is it? So all things need to be paid for that. And I would just ask councillors, can we look out for opportunities that we can support some of these clubs to find those spaces for them to go? the Gloucester FA has suggested, well, you know, we've got a couple of pitches available, but as soon as the winter floods come in, you've got no chance. People ain't going to be using outside turf pitches. So yeah, it's hard to take first.
Well, I'm just trying to think back when the rugby club did their presentation, that I'm pretty sure that people, and I might be wrong, maybe Darren can help me in a minute, because Pete Bell and Robert Beavis, I'm sure they said they were going to make that available to the public. Darren, can you remember
Yeah,
that?
that was part of their business plan to try.
Yeah.
So they were using that money to yeah. If they left it as it was, I think it was 5-10 years, it would be, you know. So they need that input, I think, to be able to rent that pitch out to other organisations, yeah.
And that was there as well, but I thought that's why they said, because 2 heads is better than 1. Piers?
Just to point out that 3G pitch built for rugby, the grass might be too long for normal football.
Yeah.
So it's not interchangeable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Couldn't wait on you, right?
Just say as well, the district manager, Stuart Grayson, did a lot of work on the football pitches and stuff. I might be right about that shop in Calvin. We might be able to get it later, I'm not sure.
I'm also speaking to like Gloucestershire, who've got connections to Sport England, their own funding pots and stuff too, but it also needs the will of the school and whatnot too. It's all, it's a tangled web, isn't it?
Well, as Ray said, the diabetes levels and the obesity levels in the area, the health of the area is not good. And obviously we are a deprived, Cinderford West is one of the 12 deprived wards in Gloucester, the rest being in inner city areas. And I'm thinking it's a time when the government want to take the burden off the health service and get people healthier, we're going the wrong way. So we need to probably use all the leverage we can against SGS to try and get something sorted out, because as we said, the grass length is different. I know that was always the case when football clubs and rugby clubs wanted to merge in a similar stadium. We had that conversation years ago in Cinderford when they were going to build a stadium at Awood, what is now Forest High School, to cater for the both. And the rugby club wasn't keen because exactly what Pierre said, the grass levels, different lengths. So, but what we need to do is keep pushing forward, man. Anything you can do, Chris, in your capacity.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be what, because there's, like you said, there's so many people not going to be able to use it. It's ridiculous, to be honest with you. We need to be going the other way, not that way. Darren?
Well, would it be helpful, do you think, if we could involve Matt?
Matt is aware.
Oh, he is aware.
Yeah.
Right, that's
Yeah.
right, yeah.
And he's having conversations, but I can't.
No,
That's
that's
Sorry.
good. Thanks for that. Thanks for that. So, for anyone else? Well, we'll do what we can, and whatever anybody can think of, anything you can think of, Chris, or certainly anything that Matt can do, it'll be all welcome, because we said we're tending to be going the wrong way and flying in the face of the ointment with regards to getting ourselves more fit and healthy. Jeremy?
Is there any way Gloucester FA can point us in the direction of additional funding?
So Gloucester FA have come back around temporary measures we might be able to support, which is like temporary floodlights and existing green pitch, grass pitches and whatnot. But the reality is they won't be used. It's not the same kind of provision at all, and that's all we've got. In terms of longer term funding, I don't think we know until we get those quotes and understand exactly what the health and safety report said. Because if the only option is a completely new surface, then that's what we need to be looking for funding for. If it's 20-30 grand for repairs, that's a completely different matter. So that's what we need to dig into.
The thing is, the groundwork needs to be done to actually see who you might be able to approach to get some funding.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Well, all we can do then is wait. We have written and as contacted, we'll wait for those responses from SGS, and hopefully they'll give us a response. If they don't, we'll make a bit more fuss about it and maybe give them a bit of embarrassment. Okay, thanks for that, and thanks for the work you've done on it, Chris. It's invaluable, to be honest. Item number 12 is the Sydney Fest 2025, which I've battered Mark right out. I feel sorry for Martin, I should have looked like, wow, mine wasn't as great as that, but I missed one, haven't I? Oh, I got one on the volume B. Sorry, I'll come back, Mark. Receiving and consider quotation for Christmas lights and agree a contract. We better do that, or be a bit of a dark tone.
So we've had two quotations, they're in your folder. The current supplier is still the most competitive. So I don't know who's looked at the prices.
I suppose we go for the current supplier, he's the cheapest.
Secretary Gerald, all those in favour, please show. Any against, please show. Any abstentions? Carried. Super. Thank you very much. We'll do that, no problem. Thanks for that. So on to item 12 now, then it's Cindy Fest, and it's been a real proud of enjoying from Mark, and he's getting there slowly. It's probably one good holiday out of all this, isn't it? So A is to receive a safety and advisory group notes and improve the working group taking forward any actions to meet compliance requirements. Who's that with?
No. Has anybody got any questions? That's the easiest thing.
Anybody got any questions? No? No questions? No problem.
We've got lots of compliance, what is it, anti-terror laws and first aid and fencing. We've got to put fences up to count people in and count people out, bag searches, licensing.
So it'll be a different event to what it is.
So
Sure.
it'll just be.
Yeah, they were
Bear that in mind when you see the bill.
So item B then is to receive an update from the working group and agree any actions. Will ask any questions on that? Is that all together, Mark? Or?
It's all pretty sorted. Emma, it's all pretty sorted.
Ready to rumble?
Yeah, we've got that in also.
I mean, fair play to Emma, she's on holiday and she's
All that remains me to do is
Yeah,
just thank you from all of us for the work you've done. And anybody who can give any help, they need some help on the Sunday or whenever Mark asks for the help. So even if you only pick up some litter or whatever you want to do, I'm going to go up and nobble it out there, but I'll do my best. So they do need help. So anybody who's about, you know where they are and you know where they'll be. 10 o'clock Sunday morning, Mark, is it? Or?
Starts at 12, but what was I going to say less? Sorry.
Seven.
Anything you want to raise at all? All right? Everybody happy then? Well, I think it'll be a screaming success, whether we still won't be able to get to see it, but it depends how many people go from everywhere else, but there you go. We'll listen to it anyway down in the garden.
Let's hope it ain't many.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for your work, and thanks for what you're doing, it's incredible. Thank you for that. Item 13 is finance, and the first one on the A is to note the dates of the exercise and public rights, 16th of June 2025 and to the 25th of July 2025. Everyone happy to note that? Yeah. Item B then is to agree the accounts for payment per list circulated prior to the meeting. There's an agreement on me on that. Is there a proposal to Mark? Go second, Jeremy. All those in favour, please show. Any against, please show. Any abstentions? Carried. Thank you very much for that. Item C then is to note any urgent payments already made for ratification, including including debit card payments.
Yeah, so the list's in your folder.
To note, happy to note it, yeah?
Yeah.
Super, you've got it on your folder. D, that's to receive and discuss the latest financial reports, income and expenditure, income receipts, budget versus spend, earmark reserves, bank sheets, balance sheets, bank reconciliation to the 30th of June 2025. Happy to receive that information? It's in your folder? Yeah, everyone happy? Thank you for that. Item E then is to receive the monthly internal control checklist and RFO update.
So Tim's been in to do his monthly checks and there's been no issues identified.
We're happy to receive that, yeah? Super, thank you very much. On F, to note the insurance renewal to the 7th of June 2026. Happy to note that? Yeah? Thanks for that. Item 14 then, reports. So minutes, and that's to receive the reports from, first of all, our Ray from Gloucester County Council. Report from the County Council, Ray. We'll have beers as well. The two of them together, it's a double act.
I sent it 14 times to her, but she said she didn't go. So. But long story short, I think I said last time, I have the surgery every it's not before the meeting, 3 till 5 every month, Tuesday before this meeting, so please email me with anybody who wants to perhaps not disappointed there's not too many people today as that. Attending a bi-monthly meeting with Highways Manager, so if you have any issues, let me know. We've also, the local police inspectors agreed to quarterly meetings with county councillors, so again, if you've got anything to channel 3, please let us know. We're hoping to have our first meeting with all the Forest Dean County councillors on the 17th, so we might do that regularly, we might not. That's also something if you want to channel into. We've got a meeting with the Deputy Crime Commissioner on the 25th, so we've got everything for a few minutes again. Parking enforcement, I've sent you something to show what hours they do and how much they can give to the local area. If you have a look at that and know what you think. I'm trying to make a little link with them so we can work on complicated cases and I can raise some of the other issues. I'm also going to go out with them and find out a little bit more. So, any issues, please let me know. Forest High School, we've been doing some work, especially Graham and I, Emma. We've arranged meetings with the GCC Director of Education. We've also spoken to a lot of people today from the Department of Education and some of the Forest Dean District Council. Guy Martin was taken off list. I'm so sorry, Guy, for not being back over the hand of that one. So sorry about that.
I'll forgive you.
Thank you. We're hoping this time we'll meet with the MP's office rearranged. So just trying to gather it all together and get a bit of a round table. They've agreed to another meeting. I think it was quite productive today. Graham gave the whole history to them and we're hoping to move forward with that. And then there's some news from GCC, the M5 Junction improvement scheme being approved. There's a local government reorganisation update, so if you can have a look through that. And there's a petition, not a petition. Something you can sign, you can give your views. Online survey, that's what I'm looking for. To do the LGA. Yeah. So, I think that's it, but like I said, if anybody wants to channel any of that stuff into me, please do. I'll bring up the meetings.
Anybody got any comments, questions for Ray or Piers?
Obviously, one quick thing to add to that, and I think we're there as well. There was a road safety group meeting a few weeks ago. Mixed feelings. I feel like all the same stuff's raised there that's raised anyway, so no one has more power or mouse, but we'll see how it goes. Is that one monthly thing?
Yes.
Is that one? Yeah. I've got some more about
Yeah. Yeah. So thanks both for your work, and obviously the school is a priority. We need to do something about the buildings. The education standards is no problem at all, but the buildings need upgrades or they need a better situation. You know, and they've got to be a top priority. You know, the MP have raised it even with the Chancellor. You know, done some marvellous work there. We got that raised to that level of heat. We've even got Wendy Jackson at the cover today and got all the information from Wendy, which she's been very good. And so we just got to keep plugging away. Again, we want a new school.
So I say, I'm not sure if it's right now, but maybe somewhere showing that public the satisfaction and also maybe a petition or something I'll send it to and maybe you think about something on that like so to show so the right people to chat in.
All that remains for me to do as chairman is thank you both and B for your work on it. It is a priority and we do need it sorted. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Item B then is Forest Dean District Councillors. Is that right? Do I
put a brief report in and I also sent a presentation on local government review because that's obviously something in the mind of the Forest Dean District Council. And the councillors had a presentation which has been adapted for parish and town councils and it's in the report. So I think it's vital that we start thinking of that and also how it's going to impact. The idea is there's going to be parish clusters for town and parishes, so that's going to impact on this council. So I do think we've got to start talking about it and if or when it's going to happen. That is a big issue. We've mentioned the local plan. Also in my report I've talked about the changes in housing legislation. The first thing the district council is looking at is houses of multiple occupation and making sure that landlords meet the requirements, and the licence fee for houses of multiple occupation going up somewhat. Something I am going to raise with the district council is maybe they should consider starting a landlords forum again, because unfortunately a lot of people in this current climate are getting rid of houses to rent, so it's increasing the shortage of housing supply, and I'm sure you know that, right? And so we need to be lobbying to make sure that landlords can come and voice their concerns as well. So I am going to raise that. And obviously I've put what meetings have been, and there's a community safety partnership meeting tomorrow, which I go to because I chair the Domestic Abuse and Sexual Violence Forum, and the Forest of Dean, percentage-wise, with the numbers of our population, are the highest incidence of domestic abuse in the county. And I think that's it's a government priority. It has been for all governments, but it doesn't seem to be lowering the figures, you know, and it's having an impact, and it impacts not only on the victim but their families as well. And there's male victims, female victims. You know, it's so yes, that's obviously an area of interest of mine. And my casework predominantly is housing, because we talk about this access to affordable social housing, and until we can have more rented, socially rented accommodations, it's going to continue to be an issue. People need homes, there's overcrowding, there's pitiful cases in the Forest of Dean at the moment throughout the forest, because even though people are on banding, high level banding, there's no houses coming forward. And it is an area of concern. Because if you haven't got a decent home, you can't get proper work. You know, it impacts on everything, and particularly on children. You know, if they're in temporary or their parents are self-serving, it isn't good, it isn't good. And as we know, and this is figures that we're giving tonight, childhood poverty is on the rise, isn't it? So yeah, that is an area of concern. But yeah, that was it's just a brief report.
Well, I'm sure some of the figures you mentioned there can only help in this split we got with regards to sports facilities, as Chris was talking about. The school situation, where we got
we need a new school. The school, my worry is it's going to, they want it shut. SGS wants it shut. And I think it's being left so it's shut down because they don't really want to be there. And unfortunately, what happened when they first took over, after EACT, they were coming in just to help out Cinderford. No one else has wanted to take it on. And unfortunately, with the philosophy now of they're not under local authority control, these academies can do what they like. And I think if you look at the investment, and I'm sorry I'm going to say, SGS have invested millions in South Gloucestershire, you know, and yet they've neglected that school, and that school, my worry is, it's going to close because it's a health and safety risk. I've got 4 grandchildren now, so I declare an interest. But it's appalling, and my worry is whatever councillors, MPs going to do, they don't want to be there. And it is...
I raised the point today when me and you went down to South Gloucester to look at
Absolutely.
We got lost a bit and not found their sports college campus, which was something out of this world, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then we saw their main campus up as an Airbus, which we thought, is this the same academy? But yeah, I mean, Stuart raised it today, didn't you, Ray? On the conference call that, you know, they hadn't been good to serve them.
No,
and it's getting
if they don't want to be there, there should be some intervention to ensure, because what we have to be mindful of, families in Cinderford do not necessarily have their own transport. So if children are shipped out to other schools, they cannot take place, they can't get involved in after school activities because they have to catch a bus. So again, it prohibits maybe exercise or academic things. and it will disadvantage the children of this area. So I just hope, and I know I should keep my mouth shut, but I can't, that we get some intervention and we get a new school.
It's got to be everybody together, please, for this one.
Yes, we do. We need to be united in a fight for the right of Sinford and the outlying areas children to have a right to a decent education, a decent educational establishment. It is not fair that the children of Sinford, people up to donate books for a library, when you go down the road to Mitcherdine and they have a state-of-the-art library. Why should it be? It's unfair and it's wrong. And I'll shut my mouth because I know it's not, this isn't the place, but I do feel it's very unfair when children should have equal access to a decent education.
And then, thank you, Doyle.
Well, I'll go on further with that, Doyle. You know that the kids that go to that school, they have to wear their coats in class in the winter. In the summer, they have to carry those coats and all that stuff. They have to carry their stuff for cooking and PE. If they go to mum the same day, they've got to carry it. There's nowhere for them to leave it. They've got to carry the damn stuff all around the building all day. And that's just a simple thing that they could put right if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
And as for sitting in class with their coats on, it's a matter of course, not a certain, oh, we've had a what do you call it, a snow blower or whatever. They go to sit in the classroom with their coats on because there's no sodding eating in the place. I say it's hard to believe. It was hard to believe.
10,000 people with those bridge on outlying villages.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks. Anybody got any questions for Doyle on the district stuff? Or Mark, or anybody got any questions, man? You happy? Thanks for that. Thanks for your report, Doyle. We'll move on then to committee updates. C. Is there any committee updates then?
There's been no committee meetings since the last meeting.
D. The Market Towns Officer Minutes as of the 18th of June.
Sharon, no, Darren's in.
Darren?
Yes, yeah. I've arranged for there to be a meeting before the events committee meeting.
Yeah.
So all councillors can be because I want you all to meet her. I want you all to put what your thoughts are for what she should be doing for this town. I don't want it all to be just me, it should be all of you putting something forward for her to do, what you think your vision should be for her to do. I'm going to take her around, excuse me, I'm going to take her around the town, take her to all the businesses and introduce her. I've already mentioned it to a lot of businesses and they're quite eager to for this to, there's a lot of sort of enthusiasm from some of the traders, which is good. She's got a short plan of what she wants to do. But I think it should come from all of you as to what the plan should be for her. Okay. Market as well, get the market going as well. Christmas market would be great. But lots of different things.
Before she goes to the meeting, could we all, or as many of us who want to, meet her down the town first, please?
Yeah. Why not?
So I'd like to show her the clock tower inside because that is the biggest tourist attraction we've got in town. So there's seats in there that people can walk up to, have a cup of coffee and look over the town. Yeah. So that's one of the major things we need.
Yeah, we can
sort of. I mean, everybody, the lease for the cafe is in the lease. It says that anybody's allowed to go up the clock tower, but it's such a state. And there's seats around the balcony. There's seats built into the balcony, so you could get a cup of coffee, stroll up there, sit in the seats. They're rotten. They just stay there rotten. And there's a nice viewing area at the top, which has got really cloudy perspex. Yeah. So there's a thing there that people would come to have a look at. So I think that's something that needs to be. It'd be nice to take her out there and show her that.
It was built as an observation, tourist observation point for the forest, yeah.
The disabled need not apply.
Well, so, yeah. Well, we could see if we can get funding for a lift.
Yeah. It's breaking the law, isn't it? It's supposed to be.
Well, it was their lift.
Yeah.
As long as they didn't shoot up to the.
So could we ask for that, if you could meet us in 10, 20 minutes after or before the meeting?
Yeah, good idea, yeah. Can we do that? Yeah. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Super. Thanks for that, Darren. Right, item E then is police advocacy meeting on that 18th of the June.
Yeah, that's me.
That's you again.
Yeah, well, me and Ray was at the meeting, weren't we? We obviously they did all the crime figures. We discussed the antisocial behaviour and wave of antisocial behaviour. We had it a few weekends in the town. They know who they are. I believe they've been given what's the word? Restrictions. They're not allowed in certain areas, are they?
I think it was times for a certain period of time.
Yeah, so there's like the town centre at weekends and evenings they're not allowed to be in there, and sort of exclusion. I said exclusion zones. So it appears, touch wood, at the moment to be working because we've not had any incidents since that. The one sort of negative I got from that meeting was obviously the Police and Crime Commissioner set this police advocacy meetings up for councillors to go and have that direct connection with his office. They're now, instead of it being every 3 months, they've now told us that it's going to be every 6 months. So, which I was very disappointed to hear because I think it's too long a period to go. I don't know whether we can,
one thing you can raise with them is on Saturday, the Lawyers Walford Field, the grassed area at the bottom, where the houses were set fire to. And I'm told there was also fire anglers on Sunday night again. Whether it was the same wonderful little perpetrators, I do not know. But the police got work to do, so don't let them go away.
No, I have arranged to go out with Amber next week.
Yeah.
For
point out them 2 incidents this last weekend. And it was quite a big area which the fire brigade had coming down.
Yeah.
Well, I actually met the fire brigade down there. Obviously, I spoke to them. They went and spoke to the group of children. It's the same ones, and basically they got told off. And they said, "What else can I do?" They've been trying to work with the children, and they said, "But nothing's." They said it was that close to setting fire to the person's shed. That like the house would have gone up. So by the time they got there, the one officer said that he was down there trying to stamp the fire out with his feet, and he had to have 2 fire hoses down there to actually put it out. So, and obviously the parents that had reported it, I spoke to them as well, they was at the top and they couldn't believe it. But he said the children were just down there. It was like they sort of stayed to actually watch. We set fire to it, let's watch what happens. He said, that's the second time now, isn't it?
In this hot weather with no rain, right?
Yeah, I'll bring that up when we meet the Deputy Crime Commissioner. Anything you can feed into me, like all these instances, would be really useful because I can show this to them. What's the second thing? Feed it in. We'll also bring that try and bring this joint as county council. That's what we're talking about the meeting. They're talking of cutting the P6Os from I think it's about 104 to 70. I'm very concerned from what they're saying that there'll be a lot of that will affect the forest and Australia, basically the rural areas. So again, anything you can feed back into me, so like